Welcome to the Overlook Motel, a place where underseen and unappreciated films are given their moment in the spotlight. Archaeological horror is a subgenre I hold in high regard, but aside from a few standout efforts, there aren't a great deal of films that fit that bill. The Relic is one such example, and I've sung its praises here previously. This week, I'm pleased to now be championing another overlooked effort that squarely fits under the heading of archaeological horror. I'm speaking of the underseen found footage offering As Above, So Below. The film follows Scarlett, played by Perdita Weeks, who has made it her life's mission to find the archaeological relic, the Philosopher's Stone. Her filmmaker friend Benji, played by Edwin Hodge, is chronicling her journey for a documentary. Also along for the ride is Scarlett's scholarly friend George, played by Ben Feldman. George speaks multiple languages and possesses a vast knowledge of ancient history. The three eventually come to believe that the stone is located within the Paris catacombs. From there, the trio team up with a group of Parisians to uncover the historic relic. But when they reach the mass burial site, Scarlett and company soon come to realize that some things are not meant to be found. As Above, So Below does have a fan base. Hell, it even scored a nationwide theatrical release in 2014. But in spite of that, the flick didn't perform exceptionally well at the box office, bringing in a meager $21 million domestically. I suspect As Above, So Below underperformed due to found footage fatigue. By 2014, mainstream moviegoers and even a vocal majority of horror fans seemed to be tiring of the POV technique. Since As Above, So Below, which comes to us from the Dowdle brothers, is presented as footage collected for a documentary about the search for the Philosopher's Stone, we get better than average camera work, and that distinction also helps justify the characters continuing to film long after reasonable people would have turned off their cameras and gone home. We also have the important distinction that Scarlett is carrying on her father's legacy. He too searched for the stone and ultimately took his own life before he finished his quest. As such, when Scarlett refuses to abandon her objective, it makes sense. This isn't just a hobby, this is her familial legacy and her life's work. Scarlett's tenacity not only provides logical justification as to why she continues her relentless pursuit, it also makes her a relatable protagonist. She is dogged and relentless. There's something rather admirable about a protagonist that won't let anything or anyone stand in their way. It's inspirational and gives the viewer all the more reason to invest in that character's plight. The brothers Dowdle do a phenomenal job of establishing atmosphere and a palpable sense of tension. As Scarlett comes to dead ends and receives ominous warnings, she continues to push forward. As a viewer, it becomes quite obvious she and her crew are about to find out why some things are best left alone. The filmmakers make the most of the tension created as a result of Scarlett's dogged determination. When the universe appears to be telling her and her friends to stay away, and she refuses, that establishes a sense of foreboding. We know things aren't likely to go well for her, but we also recognize Scarlett's not going to stop until she's dead or has the stone in hand, and that establishes a baseline of tension that is then augmented by the various forms of supernatural phenomenon she and her team encounter along the way. Claustrophobic camera angles combined with the eerie backdrop of the largest mass burial site in history make for an intense experience. As matters progress, it starts to feel like the walls are closing in on the characters. The team's journey would probably be plenty harrowing without the introduction of supernatural elements toward the third act, but that doesn't deter the Dowdle brothers from ratcheting up the tension to the point of being almost unbearable and really leaning into the horror. All in, As Above, So Below is a severely underrated found footage effort that delivers constant thrills and chills right up until the final frame. If you're down to check it out, you can find the film available for rental from all the major platforms as well as on physical media. That's all for this installment of the Overlook Motel. If you want to chat more about underseen and underrated films, feel free to hit me up with your thoughts on Twitter @FunWithHorror.